Hello, good morning, good night, good afternoon, depending uh, your environment. My name is Misael, and if you are watching, and my name is Misael, I'm a language student. I'll become professor, English professor, and if you are watching this video, is and if you are watching this video, I'm sure that you will become an English professor too. Okay, in this slide, in this presentation, we are going to talk about errors, and which the errors that students make when they are learning a new language, in this case English. So now let's start. So in this slide, we must know what is the role of error. What is the role of error? Okay, this term, this concept was taken from a TKT book. Okay, this is focused on the kind of mistake learners make when they speak or write a foreign language. Making mistakes play an important and useful part in language learning. Okay, we have two important points in this. Slide. Okay, the errors allow the speaker to experiment with the language. Okay, so it's the same with all the learners when they are learning a new language. If they make errors, whatever they have that experience with language. Okay, so and they can improve, or maybe they cannot. Okay, and make sure the success in communicating. Okay, these are the two important points of the role of error. So now we must to classify this type of mistake in sleep and errors. Okay, the sleep are the result of tiredness, worry, or other temporary emotion or circumstances. Okay, the sleep are mistake that the students make because they are bored, because they are nervous, or for other reasons. But this type of the sleep are errors that the students can correct, or the students know that they make a mistake and they can correct themselves in other situations. These are sleep is when the student have knowledge that when the student have knowledge that are making mistake in the speaking of the language that they are learning. So, and the errors happen when the learners try to say something that is beyond their level of language. Okay, this is very common when the students are learning a new language. In my case, for example, when I don't know some word in English, I'm trying to look for synonyms, and this make makes me to make a lot mistake in my English speak. I don't know if in this moment I'm making mistake, but the errors is when we try to create word maybe that doesn't exist in English, or we try to create a new form, new structure that maybe are not correct in English, and we are making an error. And if we don't and if we don't have anybody uh, who can correct us, we will continue making this error, and this is not good for our learning. Okay, so key concept. Okay, these are a concept, or these are a problem that we can create if we don't develop a good language acquisition. There is one the interferences. The interference is developed with the error and mistake that we make. Interferences learners may use some sounds pattern, lexis, or grammar structure from their own language. Okay, interferences is when we try to create a new form, maybe a pronunciation or something else. In my case, I speak English, Spanish. My mother tongue is Spanish. In some cases, we try to create, we try to transfer our form, our the way in which we speak Spanish. We try to transfer to English, and that is not correct. And the developmental error is learners are unconsciously working out, organizing, and experimenting with the language they have learned. Okay, this is when we have etc. Overgeneralization. I go, I went. Report. Interlanguage learners' own version of a second language which they speak as they learn. Okay, so now we as teacher we must take advice in this case to create a good environment of learning for our students, and we as teacher we must to help our students. So here we have some points. We need to think hard about whether when and how to correct learner. We must expect instant learning is gradual. This is some advices. So, and this is our exercises. Okay, we must to classify if the mistake are the mistake are sleep or error. Okay, a good student of mindset. The clouds were thick and it wasn't raining a lot, but he quickly corrected himself and said thick pronunciation sleep, obviously, because the students have knowledge that because the students realize that he pronounced in a in the correct way. I have several students in my top class who still say things like very nice, he do, nice, he do, I am doctor. I just don't know what to do about it. Fossilized grammar errors. At the beginning of my student use term as like was or for anything.